you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Christine Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers. Welcome back, everybody. This week, I want to bring you into a conversation that I had with one of my clients that sits within our private mentorship program, the Business Scale Accelerator, because I think that Janet's story is not just unique to her. It is something we see time and time again with the entrepreneur community, and it might just be of service to you today. And it's this: what is the decision that most business owners avoid? That's what we're going to be tackling today on Amplify Your Marketing Message. I'm your host, Christine Campbell Rapin, and I will tell you that business growth is elegantly simple. That doesn't mean that it's effortless and that every decision is black and white, or that we execute even when our gut, our knowledge, and all the signs are on the wall. And so what is that question? What is that decision that most business owners avoid? It is knowing when to cut what isn't working and reallocate the time, money, bandwidth, and resources from a losing strategy and redirect them into another pathway. It sounds so simple, right? Just stop what doesn't work. And yet it is a really hard blind spot to truly see, because we want it to work. Truthfully, it's that simple. We want it to work. And what that means is it feels easier to stay the course. It feels easier to constantly be in the, I'll just tweak it, I'll edit it, I'll make one change. And that cycle becomes the definition of insanity. Hello, anybody else spend hours tweaking their website, thinking that the website's the problem, the copy's the problem, the layout's the problem, the graphics are the problem, on and on and on and on and on. And you're saying, well, my website is failing. And part of the issue is not the website itself, because a bad website, if you have the right audience that sees it, will still create action and response to a call to action. But a website that simply never has traffic, never has the ideal client being driven to it, will always just be static. It won't produce results. And so I see people spend so much time wasting in their content when nobody sees it. And that's why we hear this expression, I feel like the best kept secret. Well, you are. Let's just be clear. Call a spade. You are. You don't have enough audience seeing your content. So it's not the content that's necessarily the problem. So tweaking it, refining, adjusting it is just noise. It's just distraction. And you can give it infinite amount of time and not see changed results. Feels kind of heavy, right? Well, here's the truth. That every month you stay with a losing strategy, i.e. fixing or not fixing the right problem, costs you so much money, so much energy, so much time, and it will lead you to that place of burnout. And my clients all know this. It's something that they love and hate about me, is I believe this firmly. There's no such thing as burnout when you're building something you love, when it feels like oxygen. When you are in a place of burnout or overwhelm, what I hear is that you're not winning enough. Because when you're winning, it becomes worth it. And it doesn't mean that you don't have periods where you're tired or exhausted and you're like, I bit off more than I can chew. Come on, let's have an honest conversation. It doesn't mean that. But it means that your romancing quitting comes off the table. And so I have clients that come into my space, and this particular client has come in on more than one occasion over the last several years saying, nothing's working, the sky is falling, I don't know, should I pull the plug? And I said, let's have a really frank conversation. And she's like, I know I need it. And so we sat down with great trust between us, with her and I on the same side of the table, talking about what she envisioned, what her current reality is. And this is what I said to her. You know you need to cut what isn't working. We've had this conversation more than once, and you are still tweaking, hoping, wasting time with strategies and rooms that are not serving you, are not creating the result. And it is not a question of time. It's not a question of whether you are effective in that space or that strategy. It's that you are in the wrong damn strategy. And she's like, I know, Christine. And I'm like, well, you're making the mistake most business owners do. You're not changing. You're not deciding to be done with it. And it's costing you your belief in yourself, and it's leading to tears. And I gave her a big hug and said, it is up to you to decide your future. Because businesses that scale faster than those that are average or mediocre, which is the vast majority of businesses out there, have one key trait in their leadership, is that they make decisions faster. They recognize the writing on the wall. And sometimes, let's be honest, that wall and that writing is really hard to see ourselves because it's a reckoning. And she said to me, when this conversation was, we teed up to this conversation in our call because she left me a voicemail and said, this is what's happening. I'm having a meltdown. This isn't working. Should I quit my business? What's going on? And I said, okay, let's come into this conversation with a frank, trusted, safe space. Your business is not failing. The evidence does not indicate that. Do you want it to grow faster? Do you want to create more revenue? Do you want to have more wins? 100% across the board. Where it feels like you're having what I call flat head syndrome, if you think of Homer Simpson from the cartoon, it's the hand to the head dope. Oh, I know better. I'm wasting time. And I said to her, and I say it to most of my clients at some point, because they cannot see it for themselves and they need a safe space, a mentor, and person who will be able to shine the light respectfully into it and said, you're hiding from the truth. It's not working. And I want to bring the other side of that coin here, because one of my favorite books, and one that I encouraged Janet to read in this crossroads, was I Need You to Look at 3 Feet from Gold, Napoleon Hill's book. Because I said, there is truth that you are, I see it, unbiased, non-judgmental outsider. I see what's working. And the issue is you're not having enough wins. And the reason you're not having enough wins is because you're distracted in things that are not working. The wrong room. A room full of non-buyers, complainers, and mediocre thinkers. You're wasting time with people who you're convincing need to invest. Ready buyers who are ready to implement never need to be convinced. They're fast movers, they're decision makers, and they are result driven. And I said, if you need to be reminded, I want you to look at your last client, the one who paid you. What did he have to say? He just had sent her this incredible testimonial on how her impact had driven results for his business. And I said, that story that this client gave you is their reality. It's a reflection of your services. It's a reflection of what's working. And so the business isn't failing. You're not failing. You're getting caught in distractions that don't serve you. And I need you to prioritize your success. And I watched this just gigantic weight fall from her shoulders. And she said this, you might relate. I know. I'm spending time in rooms that are social clubs, not business development activity. And I'm not suggesting to her So we're clear that she cut these social clubs entirely, but she needs to recognize what is business development activity and what is social peer-to-peer fun. Because I don't think we need to trade that. I think we need both, but the balance has to shift if her results will shift. And so I said, look at your calendar. You're so busy championing somebody else's event, somebody else's room, somebody else's activity that you're never championing your own. You're not championing it enough to create the momentum and the speed you want. And it's hiding behavior. And she's like, I know. And so I said, you've got to decide. And she said, I'm spending so much time, so much money in things that don't create an ROI. I've invested in courses that were nice to have, but not necessary. I got swept up into promises and shiny objects that cost me money and were distractions, but I never operationalized them. I'm in rooms where I love seeing these people, but they're not my people. They don't invest in businesses. They want it more than they're committed to it. And here's what she also said. And it was something that really lifted my heart. She said, yours is the only bill every month I pay that I don't regret or think twice about paying. I know that the only person I'm getting support from is you that actually moves the needle, actually leads to clients, actually leads to the results like the testimonial I just received. So I need your support to help me cut what's not working. So we made the following commitments, and I want you to see what I do in real life action because I want you to have somebody in your life that does this for you. And if you do not have somebody immediately and you want one, and you think that I could be supportive for you, I want you to invite yourself to have a conversation with me. I'm on any social platform, ChristineCampbellRapin.com, and you can also book a direct conversation with me if you go to the Work With Me and Our Services page on our website. But what I said to her is first things first. Moving forward, I want you to make me a pinky promise. Anytime that you are looking at making an additional investment in a course, in a community, in a luncheon, in a networking room, I want you to come and tell me about it. I want to talk about the financial ROI on it. I want you to build a business case for why this makes sense. Because I don't want you to work more hours. She has a young daughter. She wants to be focused on her daughter, and we're heading into the period of school time where they'll be on a break. And I said, you want to be present. So I don't want more hours. I want more effectiveness. So the first things first, when you are looking at outlay of capital, i.e. your credit card or your cash, I want you to tell me why you're doing it. Come to me. We'll talk about it. I want you to tell me what success looks like having made the investment. And some of it will be a social jolly, and some of it will be, I want to implement this strategy in my business in the next 90 days. And if it is something where you're entertained, but not operationalizing in the next 30 to 90 days, we're going to say no to it. And then while we're working week to week, and this is a client I work with weekly, we're going to ensure that I'm going to help you integrate the knowledge to the strategies so that you see more wins. I said, how does that make you feel? And she's like, I need that. Because I'm struggling to cut what's not working. And she was clear. She's like, I know I'm the problem here. But to be better, you've got to make decisions that improve your long-term outcomes. So I said, that's what we're going to do, number one. Number two, I want to really talk about what rooms serve you. Because while you're in rooms right now, that for the vast majority are women social clubs, not entrepreneurial communities where wins happen. I want you out of that room. 75% of what you're currently doing by that time back. Still spend 25% of your time. Go to an event a month, go to an event a quarter. That's fine. These are good people, good hearts, and you enjoy their company, but do it from a reward perspective versus I am playing in the game of pseudo business development activity because it's not business development activity. It's the wrong audience, not your buyer, not the right room. And I want you to, and I challenged her openly to get clear, what is a better room? She's like, I don't know. And what did I say? You guys will be shocked. BS. You absolutely do know better rooms because we have identified some. Her particular business is not the online entrepreneur. Her particular business is already a business that is past being a solopreneur. So stop being in rooms of solopreneurs. Most solopreneurs want to stay solopreneurs. They buy themselves a job. That's not the client she serves. So I said, you know other communities where there are companies which typically have 5 to 25 employees. That's a room that's more fit for your services. I also said to her, you need to be off rooms that are online focused businesses. You need traditional bricks and mortars. She particularly serves really well in the trade space. So I said, there are tons of trade communities. There are tons of businesses that are more traditional than the online coaching, healer, energy space that would buy your services, that want the outcomes you bring, that do not have a thinking partner that you could provide for them. So I said, BS. I said, what are the 3 rooms you need to be in? What are the 3 people who curate rooms that have been more effective, that brought you your first client that had such a great testimonial? I said, you have them, don't you? She said, I have the list. I said, so do something with the damn list. So we sat there and I watched, and she put in her calendar, I'm going to phone Elaine. I'm going to ask Elaine, what other communities should I be part of? And I have had opportunities to talk about the chamber, and I should go talk to our local chamber and see where their next event is and go test it out. In less than 30 minutes, we cut what wasn't working. We had a frank conversation because truthfully, tweaking, adjusting, and flogging a dead horse is still a dead horse. Every month you cannot afford to work on things that are not delivering an ROI. And I said it when I started, it's sometimes very hard to see the forest for the trees for ourselves. We struggle to know, is this a bad strategy or am I the problem? So don't expect yourself to see a blind spot. That's not easy. But she is smart. Are you? She has me in her corner, a paid business mentor who's like, enough of the BS. You are flogging a dead horse. You're in the wrong room. It's a social club. Get out. I need you to be more effective, not more hours, because the wasted energy is leading you to this belief of nothing's working, the sky is falling, tears, tantrums, and this very big, heavy burden. Should I keep going? And I said this, and I say this with great integrity and truth. I will never bring you on as a client if I do not believe your business has legs. If I do not believe your business has a sustainable future. If I do not believe that you can create enough income to have a lifestyle that you want, I just won't do it. And so I reminded Janet, I said, Janet, do you trust me? And she said, yeah, you're the only bill I don't mind paying. I know you will be honest. And you will not sugarcoat it. And I need straight talk. I said, Janet, your business foundation is solid. You're in the wrong room. We need to quit those rooms, reallocate the time, and we need to work the system you built. Because over the last year, we've built her the foundations of knowing who to look for, what to say, how to do it. We have a dashboard. We track KPIs. We're looking at the money. And I also said this to her. I owe you an apology. Because while you have spent on courses without some visibility to me, that's on me. I should have had visibility to it. Because I don't want you bleeding money, and moving forward, you have my commitment to helping you make better financial decisions and actually implement, because that's the biggest thing. Businesses that scale faster, decide faster, they implement faster, they recognize when we simply have had not enough runway to see compound effect take shape, and when to say this is simply a brick wall we're not going to overcome. Or if we're going to overcome it, we have a frank conversation. Is it worth it at that price? Because you will always, as a business owner, have to weigh up what's worth it at that price. And I said, Janet, how many years have you been in business? She's like, 10. I said, are you tired of not winning? If you're tired of not winning, you've got to cut what's not working. And where it is working, I need you to double down. I need to prioritize it. And here's the truth she needed, and I bet you do too. You must prioritize your own success. Stop dragging problems, obvious problems from the outside, and fix them. If you've listened to this episode, you know something needs to change. You know something fundamental is a dead horse. If you don't know how to flip the switch, come find me. ChristineCampbellRapin.com is where you'll find me on any social platforms or on the World Wide Web. And I invite you to make that change. Invest in better outcomes. Build the habit of winning. Because I can guarantee you somebody needs your service, will be happy to pay for it, and needs you. But if you don't do the effort to get found, to be positioned, to be asking, inviting, and creating trust, you will keep flogging this dead horse. And my friends, I think that is a shame. And here's what I need to say with tough love. You're better than that. So let's get better results. This is Amplify Your Marketing Message, and I will see you in next week's episode. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit ChristineCampbellRapin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all